Welcome back to Animal Crossing New Horizons. I'm Dear Darling, as you can see what's going on our lovely island of Fawnhollow today, where it's a bit of an early episode today because, of course, I am going on holiday tomorrow. I have quite an early flight. I believe it's like 6 a.m. or something. So technically, what I'm actually doing is I'm leaving very late this evening and staying with a friend for a little bit, and then we'll be taking a taxi to the airport very early in the morning, which is kind of good and bad, I suppose. Well, obviously it means that you land there in the morning and then you can just sleep on the plane and get what you want to get done, I suppose, on the holiday, get started, etc, etc. But anyway, good morning everyone. Right now in Fawnhollow, it's 11:03 a.m. on Saturday, March 4th, 2023, which is always a good fun time. But yeah, I suppose the deficit is you're waking up at like 3 a.m. or something. Oh, I'll be honest, I haven't been sleeping all that well in recent days. So if anything, maybe that will lend to my benefit, where I'll just be like, I'll be able to stay up to 3 a.m. and then when I'm on the plane, instantly out. I don't know if that'll be true necessarily or not, but we'll see how it goes. But yeah, I've still got stuff to do today. Obviously, luckily I don't have I haven't packed. Not luckily I haven't packed yet, but packing shouldn't take too long. I was making a nice little checklist for myself, just trying to think through what important things do I need to make sure I pack, what things do I have to make sure I bring, what things are probably definitely easy for me to forget. Obviously we're not going to be doing I shouldn't say obviously, but we're not going to be doing a Happy in Paradise customization episode today because you have 14 of them coming your way within the next 2 weeks. So you got that to look forward to. I'm just going to have a quick double check right now and make sure I actually uploaded all of them and set all the details correctly, because I will not be doing that on holiday. Well, I might be, I might be checking stuff out. I still haven't read through comments, I'm going to be honest, but oh, here comes Nico. The next series is coming out today. Well, that's pretty cool. I didn't realise that was today. I thought I would be already on holiday by the time it came out, but no, apparently it's today. So you know what? Awesome is all I can say. Let me see, what's the most recent day? That one. I was just setting the end screen for yesterday's Animal Crossing video, which apparently I didn't do. But yeah, I don't really know what to talk about today. Checklists, holidays and that sort of thing, airport. I think I've talked about going on holiday before and going to the airport, and how going to the airport is weirdly one of my favourite parts of a holiday. I don't know why, at least when I was younger. Nowadays, as I'm getting older, maybe not so much, but when I was younger, it certainly was, because I think it was sort of steeped in nostalgia. It's sort of like a liminal space, I'm not sure if I talked about liminal spaces before. I'm not sure actually what the exact definition is, but it's sort of like a liminal space. I would describe it in, obviously not a very concrete way, but I would describe it as a way, as a place between worlds, or a place that feels like it's between worlds. It feels disconnected, I suppose, from reality is how to describe it. Now, obviously, airports are not disconnected from reality. They exist in our reality. Otherwise, we wouldn't be able to, tangibly interact with them, I suppose, and interface with them. But the thing is, it's a sort of like the atmosphere you get around airports is very different from just going to a coffee shop or something, or going to a supermarket. It feels like it's in a transition phase, I suppose, from holiday to back to your regular life, or regular life back to holiday, that sort of thing. And that in between sort of space, it feels like I am just too close to love you. No, it feels different, doesn't it? It feels like it's tangibly, I'm not sure if off is really the right word, but maybe that's what I mean. It feels like everything's a little bit, off kilter. A bit skew with, if you will. Although I think that only applies to physical things, to be honest, so maybe you won't. Everything just, people it feels timeless, is perhaps how I was going to say, but not timeless as in wow, this is going to age amazingly. More like there is no concept of time or space or the outside world inside of the airport. Especially if you've never been in an airport, super early hours or super late hours, when people are just sleeping, people are just waiting for the plane, because obviously planes don't usually take off within hours of midnight to 6, I assume. I don't know the exact details. I'm not an airline pilot, and I'm sure there are flights which do that, but it's, I'm sure not many compared to the more commercially available times and whatnot and what have you. But yeah, I forgot what else I was going to say about this. It just is a very interesting experience, is perhaps how I describe it. It feels very sort of, yeah, and I can't really describe it any other way except for it feels like it's outside of time itself. It feels disconnected from reality. Let's see what liminal space is actually defined as. I don't know what else is a sort of liminal space. Liminal space, aesthetics wiki. Okay. Liminal spaces is an internet aesthetic portraying empty or abandoned places that appear eerie or forlorn or often surreal. Liminal spaces are commonly places of transition pertaining to a concept of liminality or of nostalgic appeal. That's basically exactly how I described it, I think. Liminal spaces may appear... well, to me, a liminal space doesn't feel eerie. It's something which, if you gave it like the descriptors of it, it should be like a hallmark description of something eerie or creepy, but looking at it, it doesn't feel eerie. It just feels more like... I don't think there's a better description of it, except for it is what it is, I suppose. It just is, but there's no like descriptions of it or something like that. Aesthetic gained popularity in 2019 after a post on 4chan depicting a liminal space called The Backrooms went viral. Okay, well, maybe I have a slightly different interpretation of liminal spaces to the internet, which is fair enough. It's pretty much the same, except for I don't see it come up from a creepy perspective. It's very much the nostalgia, so, you know, the feeling of going on like a road trip or late night drive, I suppose, with your parents in the front seat, or whoever in the front seat, I suppose, driving, and you like, it's nighttime and you're passing under those like orange lit tunnels, you know, and then that sort of feeling. When you're a little bit dozy and you're groggy and you're sort of sleeping, but you're not really. That's a sort of sensation I would describe it as. But yeah, I forgot what else I was going to particularly say about this. I don't know. Anyway, I feel like airports, early in the morning, late in the evening, definitely fulfill that role. Not very much airports, you know, in the middle of the day, because they're incredibly busy. But you know, I mean, it's been like twice, I think, I've slept at an airport overnight. Is it the most comforting thing? Actually, to be fair, the first time I was at the airport overnight, but I didn't sleep. So the second time I did sleep a little bit. It's very weird. I don't know how to describe it. Not something you want to experience, I suppose, all the time. But, you know, experiencing it like one day out of like a few years. It's unique. The Backrooms. See, also Dead Morn. I thought I said Dead Mail. I don't know what. Liminal space, aesthetics wiki. Typically, these are abandoned, oftentimes empty, and more like 4 AM or school during hallway during summer. It makes it feel frozen and slightly unsettling, but familiar to our minds. Yeah, okay. I think that makes sense. Aesthetics wiki. Apparently, you're coming. There's so much detail about it. It's incredible. A radio tower? I don't know. That doesn't feel liminal to me. I feel like a liminal space has to be interior. I don't know why an exterior one doesn't feel liminal to me. My Backrooms, I guess, kind of feels a bit liminal. An image from Wii Sports. That doesn't feel liminal to me, but maybe it's because I have a wrong definition of this. Maybe I just want nostalgic. Maybe that's just the description I want. Surprise, surprise, dear darling. She talks about nostalgia once again. Well, a comment, to be fair, I can't be the only one who gets extremely anxious from this aesthetic. I don't feel anxious from it. It's just like an empty space, I suppose. I don't really know how else to describe it. Anyway. A place of timeless being, you know. People are just sort of existing, and that's it. Anyway, I don't know. Maybe that sort of steep in nostalgia idea is perhaps why I used to like airports so much. Nowadays, I'm much more concerned with actually, maybe like, oh, we're at the right gate. Is the flight delayed? Are we going to the right place? Do I have everything I need? Did I manage to pack everything? I've got my passports, etc., etc., etc. Where's the check-in desk? I'm much more concerned with that sort of thing, as I suppose it's perhaps more part of me, I suppose, nowadays, but still. When you're a child and you don't have to necessarily worry about those things, you just sort of like go with your parents and they sort it all out. I suppose there's a certain level of comfort in that. Yearning for days when you were less concerned about things which you should be concerned about. See, it's a message in a bottle. You better rub me the right way. Sorry about that little bit of a pause. But anyway, liminal spaces. I don't know what else I was going to say about it. I'm not sure if I've ever been in a school during summertime. That was one of the examples. Or like an empty school. Actually, I have been in an empty school. Sometimes if I have like after school clubs or whatever, sometimes but it's never quite empty. This is like primary school I'm thinking about, because it's often like the cleaners are in like cleaning the school, I suppose. Or doing what we do. I remember one time, I can't remember why I was at the school so late, but like I'd forgotten my PE kit, my gym kit, essentially in school, so I had to like go in like at super late at night. I can't remember why I was at super late at night. Maybe I was like, it was part of like a some event which is happening in school or something at like late night, and then I remember just like going into the school, going into a cloakroom which was like right at the door, entrance doorways, and taking my PKIP and leaving. And I remember seeing a cleaner at the end of a hallway, and I wondered if that cleaner got a little bit spooked by me, just like didn't really pay attention and just heard like the door close on the way out or something. It was like, who was that? Who just entered? I don't know. Did they steal something? And it wasn't really stealing. It was just more me picking up my PKIP. I'd forgotten at school that day. I still don't know why. I don't remember why I was there. Why was I there? And why did I need my PKIP that badly for that day? I genuinely don't have an answer for you. A hypothesis I have is that I needed it for like a fun run or something the next day or something, but that doesn't necessarily mean I'd have to have a PE kit, to be honest. Could have just used any sort of sporting gear, but maybe I didn't have a lot of sporting gear back then. Didn't do a lot of sports when I was in primary school. Well, I did a mandatory amount, and then I did a bit more. Actually, I didn't do much in I did a bit in early secondary school, and then I didn't do much in late secondary school, and then I did more in university, and now, post-university, I don't really do much. I certainly should do more though. Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to think if there's any other times I've been just like a super empty area. I think airport's certainly the most common and plausible one. School's also reasonably plausible if you had a reason to be in school, like during the summer or during when it's empty or whatever. I feel like it's different when you're at school at night time. But I don't know. I mean, school at night time is not even very interesting. Like, the times I've been is because there's been like school activities, like, or whatever, and I was either like helping run them or I was part of it, or I was going to see it at night time. And then like, I remember the only thing I really remember is just like all the doors are like locked. Oh, this wasn't during night time, but this is like during after school. I think it was after school. Maybe it was on a weekend. I can't really remember where. A friend helped basically direct like I think we were in sixth form, and he helped direct like a younger years play. I can't even remember what play it was, to be perfectly honest, off the top of my head. But I remember I got a nosebleed in the middle of a play, and I kept just like trying to find a toilet just to be like, okay, I need to like clean up this nosebleed. And I went to like, obviously because I went to the school and I knew where the nearest toilet was. I went to the nearest toilet, locked. Went to the next toilet, it was also locked. So I was like, I had to like loop all the way back round to the entranceway of like the theatre area, I suppose, to actually get to that toilet. You might be like, why didn't you go to that one? No, it's because I was at the back side of the hall, so we went through the back entrance, I suppose, of the hallway. So I had to go all the way around. What am I doing? Stop my nosebleed. Anyway, that was a fun time. And I remember a teacher was there as well, and he was just asking like, what are you doing or whatever, because he thought I was one of the sixth form members on duty. He was helping out with the event. I was like, no, I'm here to watch it. I just had a nosebleed. And even then, if I was one of the people who had a nosebleed and I was one of the sixth form people at the event, what's it going to do? He's going to be like, get back out there and like, do what? The play's going on currently. It's not like you really do anything. But yeah, I forgot what else I was going to say about this. Was I going to say anything else about this? Yeah, maybe not. I don't really know. Liminal spaces, backrooms. I mean, backrooms is now when people have made like video games or something about it, right? And like creepypastas and stories, etc, etc, etc. Original creepypasta. Post disquieting images that just feel off. One of it. Original photos was of a backrooms. A picture of a large carpeted open room with yellow wallpaper and fluorescent lighting at a Dutch angle. Not known where the photo was taken. Just so mysterious. If you're not careful and clip out of reality into the wrong areas, you end up in the backrooms, where it's nothing but the stink of old moist carpet, the madness of mono yellow, the endless background noise of fluorescent lights at maximum hum buzz, and approximately 600 million square miles of randomly segmented empty rooms to be trapped in. God save you if you hear something wandering around nearby, because it sure as hell heard you. Whoa. That's quite a lot of fun. I feel like that's quite mainstream sort of internet meme creepypasta, I suppose, nowadays. I wonder what the most mainstream creepypasta is. It's got to be Slenderman, surely. I don't even know if that started off as a creepypasta. I don't know. It feels also very strange that creepypasta has its own Wikipedia article, but I guess that makes sense. Slenderman, there you go, on Wikipedia. I'll be honest, I don't know any of these other ones, so I don't really know what they are. List of creepypastas. I don't know any of these creepypastas. Very strange. Oh, Siren Head, I know, but only because I've seen images of it. I don't really know what the story is behind it. Anyway, we're not here to talk about creepypastas, we're here to talk about liminal spaces. Didn't realise it was back in 2019, I suppose, when we really started kicking off. I would have thought it would actually been like way older than that, to be honest. And I'm sure probably, you know, the concept of these liminal spaces probably does go like back even further and is even older than 2019. It's just more like they didn't have internet notoriety to really have a name after them, I suppose. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what else I was going to say about it, to be perfectly honest. I'm just a bit tired, to be honest. I got stuff to do. I need to pack. I'm also just trying to decide what, like, suitcase to pack. Like, 2 weeks, you know. What I'm going to do is I'm going to lay out everything I'm going to bring, I think, on my bed. And I'm going to figure out, can I fit that into that? Which suitcase do I need to fit that into? Because I was looking at the suitcase allowance we have, and I was like, it's actually way larger than I thought it was going to be. It's like 90 centimetres by 75 centimetres. And I was like, that is huge. It's almost like a metre by a metre. It's not, obviously, it's smaller than a metre by a metre by whatever. But I was like, do I even have a suitcase that big? Probably. Who knows what it is. Anyway, I'm going to wrap this episode off here. So if you have been watching, thank you very much. It's been Animal Crossing New Horizons. I've been Dear Darling. Likes, comments, subscription, shares are greatly appreciated. Twitter, Discord down below. Hope to see each other again. But now it's our farewell. So I suppose I'll see you again when I'm back from my holiday. So, oh, that's not bye-bye for now. Joy-Con drift out again. Bye-bye. Oh my god. You can do it. Bye-bye for now.